Right, week one's done, B-Dog.
Week one, finally, football season is officially back.
Yeah, Patriots won.
Yeah.
Cowboys
Somehow.
won.
Yeah.
Well, easy. I see I was going to go all in with your team there, man. What the hell? Patriots
No,
won. Go on, go.
I was going to say, no one saw it coming.
No, well, it wasn't weird. Yeah. Patriots won. Cowboys won. The rookie QBs, not great, I would say.
No, very slow start.
Yeah, slow start. We're going to go over all the goods and the bads from week one, and then we'll look forward to week two.
And there was a few goods and a few bads, wasn't there?
Well, yeah, kind of.
More bads.
Everyone was one or the other, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the first time in our rebranded setup, play the song.
With an A football that's all off the rails, like a resurgence on epic fails, living in chaos just like our show. Tune in, it's a wild ride, you know.
Right, welcome to the Nerdy Football Lads podcast with me, Kev, and B-Dog. B-Dog?
How we doing?
Yes, I am good, sir. Coming off a win for my team, and you're coming off a win for your team.
Yeah, I'm more used to mine than you are, though.
Well, you are as well. Do you want to talk through the Cowboys first, or do you want to?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, main big news before the game even kicked off, an hour or so before. Jerry decided, as always, to leave it to the last minute and make it a spectacle. Dak 4 year, 260 million, 230 guaranteed, biggest deal in NFL history.
Yeah. Right. So, regardless of the money that he's got and whether you agree with the value of the player or not, what is the potential damage of making that deal at that time? Have they signed it earlier and only announced it at that time, or is it literally an hour or so before kickoff he's signed and then that's the news coming out?
I think it might be a case if he signed it the day before and they've waited to announce it a little bit longer than normal, just to give that little reassurance for the start of week one, really. But, I mean, the good thing is he's secured for the next 4 years. He'll be 35, 36 before...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's his career now, isn't it?
Yeah, he's going to stay a Cowboy, I think, and that'll be him happy. That'll be the Cowboys happy because, as a fan, I know a lot of people moan about him when it comes to the playoffs, and it's not a case of, he can't get that final push over a little bit, but... he's got 4 years now to do it.
Well, yeah, exactly. And you talk about it all the time. The teams that are a quarterback away from being decent, we were kind of one of them. We're kind of hopefully kind of mentoring one and growing one. Yeah. But having your quarterback there, especially when you signed CD the other week, just kind of builds for the next 4 or 5 years, doesn't it?
100%.
I think the only question now is Micah Parsons, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the next big thing as well that I was going to bring up. It's how do you pay all three?
I think they're going to have to. There's always ways around the cap, and they're just going to have to find one. I'm sure they'll get it done because they're not just going to let him walk. But the problem is you're relying on the draft for the guys. Brandon Cooks, people like that, they're all aging. And you're going to have to rely on the draft to kind of bring cheaper talent through rather than re-sign guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, we haven't had bad drafts for the last couple of years.
No.
I mean, I don't think we've had many duds, if any. I think, DeMar Overshawn's back, Agent Zero, when he was at Texas. He's played phenomenal alongside Eric Kendricks. Carlton, who came in to cover Bland, he played really well, and he's taken a big number in 21.
Well, yeah, man, yeah.
It was weird to see Zeke in 15, though.
I mean, do you know what with Zeke, and we'll not ramble on too much about the Cowboys and the Patriots, but the thing is with Zeke, I'm just pleased to see him. I mean, he was at the Patriots last year, but he just belongs in Dallas.
Yeah.
And he didn't look off it or anything
that first run play when he hurdled a man, I swear to God, I felt like it was 5 years ago.
I swear the man was stood up.
It must have been, honestly, I was like, this might be 28, but he's 22 at heart.
But yeah, man. So yeah, big news: signing Dak, signing CD,
and a win.
Just kind of waiting for Micah Parsons and a win. You can't really ask for anything more
Let's
than that.
Let's talk about the upset for the Bengals, for the Patriots, eh?
So all the talk coming in was about Jamar Chase playing or not playing. As it turned out, T. Higgins didn't play and Jamar did. I think this is a massive part of why they weren't great, because the guy that had practiced all summer long was out, and the guy that for some reason had held out and then played without a contract had played. And I think if Chase had practiced all year, all off season, maybe he'd have been fresher.
Yeah.
But you've got Burrow coming off an injury. The Bengals, as I said on last week's episode, never start well.
No.
They never start well. They're kind of slow burners. They get hot when they should.
Yeah.
And I just think, despite our offense not been great, because they weren't,
No.
they were not great. The O-line was better than I thought it would be. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah, Brissett didn't get hit that much.
He had some wheels on him as well.
And you were complaining he was going to be slow and sacked all
Yeah,
the time.
man. Yeah, I know, man. But yeah, the defense carried us through there. We spoke last week about concerns in pass rush. Keon White was kind of what you would hope he would be, and stepped up a little bit in that Matthew Judon role. Obviously, Barmore out as well. But I think we were able to scheme pressure rather than individual like pass rush. But it made the world of difference. And I think the coverage was basically locked down.
Yeah.
Absolutely locked down. And you talk about forcing a fumble on the goal line, forcing interceptions, winning the turnover battle.
Yeah.
I think if we didn't do that, we probably still would have lost. I think those key moments kind of painted a picture of a game that maybe wasn't to be, because our offense wasn't fantastic. Ramondre Stevenson, yes, absolutely outstanding. But again, passing the ball, I think Jacoby threw for 120 odd yards or something. Not great. But yeah, we'll take it. We'll absolutely take it.
Well, Dak only threw for 179 as well. Like, I saw some of it. It was the lowest passing average across all QBs in a week since 2007.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
188.3 yards per QB.
That's nuts, isn't it?
And that's in the time now when it is a passing league.
Yeah, man.
Which is just shows the defenses were good, or everyone just seems to be getting off to a rocky start at the moment.
Do you think it's because we're in a day and age now where nobody plays the starters in pre-season? These guys are coming out fresh and kind of ring rusty.
I think a little bit, obviously, because it happens with anyone. Training is not a game.
No, it's not.
Training is not a game. So without putting yourself in that situation, you are going to have a little bit of rust, because when you're in training, it's, most people say that the offense gets the glory in the training because those are the ones, defense, they don't make the big plays, they don't make the big
There's not a lot of contact.
Yeah, they let the players catch the ball just to keep the offense in that motion and keep them in that groove.
Yeah.
But when you're playing against a team that wants to kill you, you're not going to get that easiness, are you?
No. Completely agree with you, B-Dog. Completely agree with you. While you're on about interesting facts, I seen one today, which it was built up to be crazier than it is, but it's still pretty crazy regardless. So Aaron Rodgers hasn't threw for 300 yards since week 14 in 2021.
Jeez. Is
now,
it a game?
Now, I get it. He missed 23 season. He played 4 snaps, fair enough. But he had the 22 season, and, it was the back end of the 21 season. That regardless, is fairly nuts.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton has done it 3 times since then.
He was on the Cowboys as well.
Which, we're bringing you crazy stats.
Yeah. I mean, I could just, when you think about I'd say, I know you wouldn't really call it our generation, but obviously it was sort of that 2005 when he got drafted. He's probably the most natural passer of the football that we've seen.
Yeah,
while watching football.
I'm going to talk about him a little bit later, so I'll not go too deep, but yeah, I think he looked a bit of a shadow of himself. It's only week 1, don't get us wrong, and we'll play the 49ers, but yeah, we'll talk about him a little bit later.
Yeah.
Should we go straight into some goods and duds?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, brand new segment coming for you today, guys. Goods and duds. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take the AFC. B-Dog, you're going to take the NFC.
Yes, I am.
We're going to come up with 3 goods, or 3 winners, and 3 duds, 3 losers. Now, this can be a player, a team, a coach, anything.
Yeah.
3 people or teams that have done well in week 1, and 3 not so well.
Yeah.
Should we get into it?
We will.
Play the jingle. Right, B-Dog, AFC or NFC first?
We'll go with you first.
AFC first. So we're going from 3rd worst to worst.
Yeah.
Right, great. Okay.
He's got the paper ready.
Number 3, goods. I've got Chris Boswell for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They scored all their points.
Yeah, man. Yep. So the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Falcons 18-10. All 18 points from the kicker. Yep. So he was 6 for 6. He scored 3 from over 50 yards, which another record. There was the most 50-yard field goals this year, this week. Yep, great. 3 from over 50. The longest was 57.
You could have been 66, but the Aubrey kick, got caught.
Do you know what? Right. I was watching it because I was making a kind of an effort to watch the and so he went for it and I was like, no way, because he hit one in preseason, I think, didn't he? He won in preseason. Obviously 66 is a record by Justin Tucker. And then he got pulled back and they lined up to go for it on 71.
Yeah, I trust that man. I trust that man for 71 yards.
I was thinking, look, the one from 66 had room. It had room with it.
It had leg on it. I reckon he can easily, if it comes to the situation, God forbid,
where you've got to,
and it comes to that 66 to 70 range, I'd put him on a kick.
Yeah, but and the thing is, the situation that it was in, why not just let him have a go?
I know. We were already winning.
Just let him have a go.
Just before half time. I think there's been too many kick return field goals that McCarthy was like, I don't want this to happen to me.
Week 1, just have a bit of fun, man.
You've got to. When he lined up for that 71, I was like, I can't believe you took him in fantasy league from me. I was fuming. How many points did he get for a 70-yard field goal?
I was a snake for that. So AFC good number 2. AFC good number 2. Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously Jim Harbaugh back with the LA Chargers. Dill will be chuffed that I'm picking him. Beat the Raiders 22-10. We all expected them to run the ball. They ran the ball 27 times for 176 yards and a touchdown, though 4 of them were Justin Herbert on a rush. And they threw the ball 26 times. So, 27-26 split.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. To say that 4 of them were probably passing plays that Herbert just ran with. Yeah, Herbert made 17 completions for the 26 passes, made 144 yards and a touchdown to Ladd McConkey.
Who we both said was going to be a good guy to watch.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if you caught the game, the catches that Ladd McConkey made were just his route running that we spoke about last week. And I think, especially with the losing of Williams and Allen. Keenan Allen. Jesus Christ! Wow. Yeah, Keenan Allen.
Football fan.
I mean, that's not quite in.
It's not the Pats. He doesn't care.
Yeah, whoever. I mean, I wouldn't mind him a fantasy team.
Yeah, that's true.
Losing those guys, they needed kind of a go-to guy, I think, and I think Ladd McConkey's going to be that for them. But yeah, I'm just happy for them guys. I'm happy for Jim Harbaugh. You can tell the energy that he brings to the team. He was kind of pissing about a bit with Justin Herbert on the sideline.
Shoulder bump.
Yeah, it's good to see those guys get a win over the Raiders, who absolutely trounced them last year. Scored 63 points or something, and to turn that around in such a short space of time. Yeah, great job by Jim Harbaugh, and he's number 2 on the goods. Number 1, probably can see it coming, the New England defense. Genuinely not being
biased. They played ridiculously well.
No one's seen that coming.
No one saw that
No one's seen that coming. So, again, we spoke about New England having no pass rush. We had 3 sacks, including a strip sack, but Joe Burrow recovered it.
Yeah.
We kept the Bengals to 4 for 11 on third downs.
Yeah.
They made 4 third downs all game.
Aye.
Recovered 2 fumbles. One was forced on the goal line by Kyle Duggar.
I'll tell you what, right? I watched that fumble and I could not believe my eyes when it came out. And I also couldn't believe more how the ball perfectly bounced into his hands.
Popped up perfectly.
That was you couldn't write that.
Yeah, popped up perfectly, man. I said exactly the same time. I was like, well, that popped up nice, didn't it? But yeah, I mean, I said about our safeties last week and kind of got joked at a little bit. But yeah, Kyle Duggar, great play on the goal line. If they score that, maybe it's a different game. Yeah. Oh yeah, I wonder if the game would have been any different
if it wasn't for that force on the goal line.
If they scored there. You could argue that the game would have turned on its head and they would have maybe got a little bit of momentum. But yeah, great player. We had another fumble forced on a return by special teamer and long snapper Joe Cardona.
Yeah,
What a hit it was as well. Did you see it?
But is he always a long snapper? Or I've seen quite a few teams recently. They've been converting college linebackers into long snappers.
He's actually a tight end, I believe.
Oh right.
I mean, he's been our long snapper for. I think he's got 3 rings. I think he's been a long snapper for a long time. But I think he was out of college a tight end. But I think on Madden his overall's like 26.
Oh, you need to get him in. You need to get him in. It'll cost you pennies.
Yep. So we talk about the pass rush, big plays in coverage, kept everyone under 100 yards. Gonzo, Christian Gonzalez, locked down Jamar Chase.
Nah, you've been waiting for that, haven't you?
Look, Jamar hasn't practiced all year. Not getting carried away. I think there was like 4 or 5 snaps where they were in man coverage and the rest was zone, where Gonzo was on Chase.
Yeah.
I think it was only like 4 or 5. But regardless, he only allowed 3 catches for 14 yards when matched up against Jamar Chase, which isn't too shabby.
Oh, it's a top 5 receiver.
You put that against him locking, Tyreek Hill down last year and AJ Brown, people like that. It's looking good.
Yeah.
And we allowed only 70 yards on the ground. Yeah, for me, it had to have been a perfect game from the New England defense for us to have any chance, and they did. So for me, good for week 1. Number 1, the New England Patriots defense. Thank you. NFC B-Dog goods.
NFC goods, right. So we'll start off with who I think. I'll go for a player first. I'm going to go for Jaden Daniels of the Commanders. I think even though they lost, he played a hell of a game. I mean, looking at his stats, 17 for 24, which was, I'd say, arguably the best out of all the rookies.
Oh, yes. Yep, definitely.
For 184 yards, which was the most out of all the rookies. And still managed to have 88 rushing yards and 2 TDs.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Yeah.
For someone to do that in the NFL, it's not easy to throw for that much and rush for that much.
No.
I mean, they lost, and you know what I mean. You need to work on a bit more of maybe scoring with passing the ball and the actual run game that they have with the running backs. But for someone first year, second overall, who some people were saying maybe should have gone first, and maybe even dropped further down the board, for the way he played, I think phenomenal.
Yeah. Any picks?
No, he didn't throw any picks.
No, so
picks
there
from
you go.
Daniels,
It's just all you want from your rookie quarterback is to just look after the ball.
Oh yeah, of course you do.
And rushing the ball, he was exactly what we expected. I think.
Yeah, just like he was in college.
Yeah, exactly. And as long as he doesn't match that up with losing the ball when he throws it, you can't go wrong. I don't think.
Yeah, no, the Commanders have got a good one in there. Like if they if he keeps him up, like.
Yeah.
Second for me, I've gone for our favourite guy, Shake and Bake.
I thought you were going to say Daniel Jones, man. I swear to God.
No, Shake and Bake. Shake and Bake for me, I think.
Yep.
Best QB of the week, easily.
Yeah.
289 yards, 4 touchdowns, 24 for 30. Like, that man had that year last year at
the Rams before the Bucks.
Right, the Rams before the Bucks, and they paid him that 1 year, couple of $1 million deal to prove himself.
Yeah.
Comes out and just shows that he was worth the money.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Yeah, shows he was worth that little contract. But from where he's come from, being drafted by Cleveland, getting kicked out of Cleveland pretty much, and then going to the Panthers, and then going to the Rams. 2 days later, has to pull back a fourth quarter drive to win.
Yeah, that Rams game was crazy.
That was mental. And then obviously going to the Buccaneers on a 1 year deal and earning himself a good deal.
Yeah,
while being at the Bucks, but they played really well. Mike Evans looked good. Chris Godwin looked good. Yeah,
got to agree with you, man. Absolutely got to agree with you.
And my number 1 has to be the Saints defense, which I never thought I'd say.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I mean, holding the Panthers to, I think it was 10.
Yeah,
10
I think
in
it
total.
was.
I think it was only a field goal and a touchdown in a full game, and managing to score almost 50. Having, what was it, 4 sacks? I think it was something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, I mean,
2 interceptions. And they only let Young complete. I think it was 45% of his passes.
Yeah, it was
grim, they came out of nowhere. I can't remember the name of him, but number 1 for the Saints had 3 sacks at slot nickel.
Oh my God.
3 sacks as a cornerback.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the games that I only caught the highlights and not the game in 40.
Yeah.
But yeah, geez, man. I mean, I think when you put up that many points and allow so few points,
Yeah, I mean, we all thought going into it that game was going to be, the dirt game of the week, the mud ball,
yeah,
but it wasn't half exciting.
yeah. Well, that's it though, isn't it? I mean, I've got a feeling that we'll probably hear about them from you a little bit afterwards, but the Panthers, man, Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
you
it
need
was
to.
ridiculous, and I've got a special mention for the man that's back in LA after his injury, and now Puka's out, so now it's back to being Cooper Kupp as that number one receiver at the Rams.
Oh, do you know what? Looked just like Cooper Kupp of old, didn't
Yep,
it?
110 yards, 14 receptions, and a TD.
Yeah, can't complain with that.
Can't complain at all.
Especially like you said, when Puka's
Out now, yeah.
out.
So,
Yeah. Big step up by Cooper.
yeah, coming back into that team.
Right, duds.
Now we'll start with your duds. Terrible players.
Duds. Didn't want to pick him, but had to. Bo Nix.
Mm.
Or Bo Picks, as he's starting to
Yeah.
get called now, which is cruel, really. But it wasn't absolutely horrendous. We've seen worse, but by all means did not look after the football.
No.
He had a rough day. He threw 26 of 42,
Mm.
138 yards, 61% of that, 61% passing. His QB rating was 31.3, which is
Yeah.
grim. It's that low because he was throwing the ball into dangerous areas, which I just said. Threw 2 picks. One of the picks was through into triple coverage.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen the
The commentator.
commentator, as soon as the ball
No,
releases the
no.
ball,
Yeah,
nope.
yeah, sit it from a mile. I mean, it was triple coverage, man. And you kind of see it from rookies, but that's a ball that can't be thrown. You cannot throw
but
that.
still, giving him 40 odd pass attempts as a rookie in his first game,
Well, they believe in him. They said
Yeah.
this, didn't they?
Peyton see something in him that he likes.
Because in pre-season he was great.
Yeah.
He looked great. He looked
Yeah.
absolutely ready. But he said this, and he looks absolutely. I don't think it's going to affect him.
No,
I think he's mature and experienced enough that he'll just move on to the
Yeah.
next.
yeah, easy.
But yeah, he made a nice rush for a touchdown. I think that was just pure grit.
Yeah, in the end of it, it was just like, I'm
he-
going to have to do something
He was
here.
like, "Nah, fuck this. I'm just going."
Yeah, spin a man, fall into the end zone.
Yeah, there was glimpses there of what he had at Oregon and in the preseason.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got a lot to learn still about reading
yeah.
defenses and throwing balls that he just cannot throw. So yeah, didn't want to do it. Really like him, but Bo Nix, dud number 3.
Dud number 3.
Dud number 2 in the AFC, the New York Jets. Now, first things first, yes, it was the 49ers, the Super Bowl team. Not an easy feat. However, for a team that we've all heard that they're only a quarterback away from being a championship winning team potentially, they didn't. Sorry,
Quick booze trip.
not sponsored by Brewdog again. Yeah, for a team that we've all heard that a quarterback away from potentially being a championship winning team, they didn't really show anything like that.
No.
Other than the first drive, their on paper elite defense allowed the 49ers to score on every single drive.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers really struggled.
Yeah, you could just kind of see it's
Age is getting there, the injury's getting there, I think.
I mean, that interception he threw, would you say it was his fault?
I
think it was just a good play by the DB, and it just
Yeah.
happened to go into the air rather than into the dirt.
It's just that not being sharp, and you've had nearly 2 years off. No, you've had a year off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've had 2 years really.
Well, yeah.
Sorry,
pretty
you've
much,
had
yeah.
almost 2 years off. And yeah, his legs weren't what it was. He wasn't that kind of playmaker that we're used to seeing. Yes, he's getting old and he's coming off an injury, which is kind of what we said. There's a good chance that this guy might come back and not be the same guy.
Yeah.
And I think we've probably seen that. Unfortunately, I think if it carries on like this, it could well be his last year.
I mean, you can't blame the guy. He's had a hell of a career.
Oh yeah, you could take nothing away from him.
I
But
mean, and he's what, we're 41 now.
41.
Like, there's not many QBs that make it past 40.
No, especially kind of mobile guys that take themselves out of the pocket and get hit.
Yeah.
Which is done. But yeah, that you go to the Jets and bad things going to happen to you, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a quiet day for all the big guns on offense. Alan Lazard was actually their most productive player.
Yeah.
Big bomb touchdown up the seam.
Mm.
But yeah, for the Jets are dud number 2 for me purely because all we've heard about is how good we're going to be when Aaron Rodgers comes back.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you're going to win anything, the 49ers is the perfect first game for you.
Yeah.
And you weren't even close to it.
No.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Dud number 1. I'm sure this is absolutely unanimous by everyone. Deshaun Watson.
Hurts me a lot because I am a Clemson fan.
Yeah.
So I loved him in college, and then
I just think so. Before any of the game analysis, another allegations come out.
yeah,
So first things first, another allegations come out about Deshaun Watson. It's exactly the same thing as it was before.
better hide your baby oil.
It's stupid because the Browns put a get out clause in his contract.
Yep.
So if any of these things come out again and he's not told them about them, they can get out of that contract, right? Which he hasn't told them about. Another one's come up. What he really could have done with is playing well.
Yeah, that would have helped his cause a lot.
Yeah, because now they're going to go, well, we could do with a reason
Not to pay.
to get out of this, you know? Yeah, bad game. So it was 24 for 45, coming out with just over 53% completion rate.
Mm-hmm.
QB rating of 9.3.
That's almost a 10 out of 10.
I mean, Jesus Christ. We spoke about Bo Nix before, but it's not even close to as bad as this was.
No.
He was constantly putting the ball in harm's way through 2 picks. It could easily have been more.
Too much lotion in his hands.
Yeah, maybe, man. Yeah, like I said, it'd have been the number 1 dud purely off the field antics, but with the performance he put in on top, he was just by far and away the worst thing about the AFC this week. Yeah, Deshaun, be better, mate. Not at football, just as a human being. Just get out of the league. What bothers me is guys like that. He's more than welcome to play in the league, and guys like Colin Kaepernick that just did something to stand up for what he thinks has been shunted and can never play.
Yeah.
And yeah, just Deshaun, get out of the league. You're disgusting, and you were absolutely awful at the weekend. So yeah, get out of the league. Judge number 1. Huh?
Please don't sue us.
Oh, yeah, you ain't watching this, but yeah,
Never
I've
know.
not said anything that's wrong though.
Did you not see the Twitter thing? Did you not see that he made a fake Twitter account to?
Of course he did.
He made a fake Twitter account apparently, where he said that the losing of the game wasn't his fault. See,
What?
I can't remember what it was called off the top of my head, but he only has one post, and it was only made like a few days ago, and it just said if Foy had better blocking out there, maybe he'd be a better player.
And it was him. It was a burner account. No, it
A
wasn't.
lot of people are saying it's a burner account. Yeah.
Oh God Almighty!
I can't remember what it's called, but it's on Twitter.
That's just even worse, man. That's embarrassing, man, isn't it?
It's just funny.
Christ
Awful
Almighty!
grace that I didn't see coming.
Jesus Christ, Deshaun. Right, yeah, dud number 1, Deshaun Watson. Sorry, Browns fans, but sort it out.
Yeah.
Right, NFC
Yeah.
duds.
NFC number 3. I'll go with Bryce Young. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think, like we said earlier, he was held to 13 completions on 30 attempts by that unbelievable Saints defense that it was, and 2 picks, getting sacked 4 times. Like,
Doesn't look good, does it?
it doesn't look good, especially when, number 1 pick last year, didn't have a great season, finished last again in the league, and already starting off to a bad start. This is one of those where people now are deciding, is it going to be a Peyton Manning where your first year, where your first year is awful and then you get better,
Yeah.
or is this going to be a Jamarcus Russell where you just continue to get worse and worse and worse?
The problem is with the Panthers is they give up so much to get him,
Yeah,
how much do you have to just stick with it and hope for the
I
best?
know, but it happens so much though, doesn't it? Like you can't stick with someone if you're not going to get anywhere with it. No matter what you gave up in the end, sometimes you just got to
Yeah.
throw your hat in the ring and say,
Yeah.
look, you know,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, but I see. I liked him in college. I mean, a lot of people said he was a bit small, but it's not height that's his issue. It's I don't know what it is, but just watching that game, it was like
It's his reads, man. His reads in that
Yeah.
game are just a mile. I think he's too concerned with rushing. It's similar to what we spoke about with
Kyler Murray,
Kyler Murray and your backup Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. Yeah,
Yeah, similar to with them guys. They're too concerned with just
Aye,
get
they
the ball and run with it.
feel like they're not getting that
Yeah,
protection.
you need to stand there, read the defense, and throw the ball the right way.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it's easier said than done. Like,
of
but
course it is, of course it
as a
is.
number 1 overall pick from Alabama, you
Yeah.
should be doing it. You know. Yeah,
Um,
good pick, man. Fair enough.
This isn't so much a dud as I think for week one, as much as I do think it's just a dud in general. And I think the Packers, as great as they played now, I don't see with Love out. You know, I
Yeah.
think that was the big loss to them. That was their new
Yeah.
quarterback going out. Obviously, you can see the footage of his knee popping, and
Oh, it
they're
was
saying,
not nice.
No, and they're saying like, oh, we're not going to put him on IR. We put him on PUP. You know, he might be back in 4 weeks, and it's just like.
No chance.
But now, obviously, they've got Malik Willis, who they just traded for from the Titans. Obviously, they drafted Michael Pratt in the draft. So at the moment, they're naming Willis to starter for his experience.
Yeah.
But again, that Willis was another one that, watching him preseason, too long on his reads and then just
Yeah.
scrambling out the pocket. So
Yeah.
that's going to, especially with the Packers. You know, I wouldn't say, like I've said before, they don't have a number 1 wide receiver. They just have a bunch of number 2 and 3
They've got
guys.
a good unit between them.
Yeah,
but yeah.
exactly. It's like a perfect mesh between them all.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jalen Reed proved that by being the highest in receiving yards.
Yeah,
which-
man. He balled out.
Sorry,
man.
Jalen Reed. I don't think it's going to carry on.
No, it's not. Man.
So-
It's not.
But yeah, I think the Packers, not so much a dud for losing to the Eagles as it was them losing Jordan Love in that last
Yeah.
few
Yeah.
minutes of the game.
Love that. Love that. Kind of concept that you brought there.
Yeah.
Not because of how they played, but like kind of dud because of what they've lost.
Yeah.
I was interested to see what you thought about this because obviously they played in Brazil.
Yeah.
Their field, not great,
No,
was it?
a lot of people complained it was too slippy. You couldn't get any grip, and
Yeah, they looked like they were on skates.
I know.
And obviously, when you, however many $1 million a year quarterback goes down with a knee injury as well, it does not look good.
I
It's
don't
not a
know.
good look.
Not going back to Brazil for a game, I don't think.
No, just not ready for it. I don't think.
No.
I just don't think they were ready for it.
I mean, it was a good idea. Like they said, they're trying to get it more out there into different countries and stuff like that. Like, obviously, there's always a couple of games every year in the UK, they have a few
Yeah.
in Germany. And obviously, they're trying to venture out, which is a good idea, but you got to make sure because those turfs that they have in America are obviously designed for
Yeah, man.
American football.
Well, you look at it over here. Yes, Wembley doesn't do it, but the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, they've built an NFL pitch underneath
Yeah,
the.
and they just raise it up.
Yeah. So it's specifically for that
They have
because
their own turf monster and everything.
yeah, it is different, isn't it? It is different, and because the way that they move in that sport, it's different to
Football, yeah, it's
football,
different to
soccer. It's completely different, and knees get blown out and things like that. So
Mm,
yeah, I was interested to see what you thought, but
yeah,
Yeah.
and then my number one sort of dud of this week, I guess, if you're going to put it anywhere, I think Kirk Cousins.
yeah, again, not a bad pick.
I
Don't-
really think, because obviously I know he's coming off an Achilles, but obviously when he was at the Vikings, he was the guy, he was the man. Obviously coming into that game against the Steelers, they didn't score offensively.
Hmm.
They all field goals, and Kirk again, 16 for 26, 155 yards, 1 touchdown to Kyle Pitts, but 2 picks and 2 sacks.
Took a while to get to him as well.
Took a while to get to him. Like he's one of those again though. He's in that late 30s stage of his life. He got a big contract from them.
Yeah,
Got 2 sacks. You can see he looks a little less confident in the pocket.
yeah.
That Achilles injury is still on his mind a little bit.
Well, when you don't have the best receiver in the league on your team as well, it makes a difference.
Yeah, I suppose that is true. You can't just throw the ball up and hope.
Yeah, I mean the touchdown he threw, Kyle Pitts was stood there forever. He was stood there forever. He was literally
I know.
hello.
I know. It's
But
those, but obviously, they picked Penix. It's another one of where you said for me. And
Yeah,
said,
exactly.
How long do they give Cousins? Was it just one bad game because it's his first game back?
I think when you've paid him that much, mate, is it different?
Depends on if you want to win games.
Well, this is it. But kind of because we're in a horrible situation now where you're aware that if you lose more games, you get a better draft pick.
Yeah.
So it's one of them things where does it balance out that if you lose enough games to get a decent draft pick, but you want to win enough games as well?
Yeah, so you don't get...
And genuinely, I think we've spoke about the Atlanta offense, obviously, on here for the last few weeks. They look fine on paper. I think once the wrinkles...
You look great on paper. When you look at Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Penix and now Cousins, when you look at those 4 or 5 players in that little group there, you look at that, you think, Jesus Christ, that's a Madden team and a half there.
It's like a ultimate team.
Yeah, it is. It's mental. But then obviously when you get on the pitch,
I think the wrinkles will come out, to be honest. I do.
I agree, but it's just one of those things to look at, you know what I mean? How many losses, how many bad drives does it take before they start thinking, we picked this guy at 10?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. One thing to add on to your Atlanta Falcons game. Did you watch them on defense?
I didn't watch.
Did you see who picked the sacks up?
Was it Judon?
Oh, Judon got one, boy. Do you know what? I miss him so much, but it was good to see him do the celebration. Man, I absolutely loved it. I'm pleased for him. He wanted to take the Patriots, and I'm pleased that he's playing well. But yeah, so they were goods and duds. If you disagree, it doesn't really matter because it's already done. But yeah, yeah. Leave a comment who you'd have had if you.
Yeah. Who do you think was a good stud and who do you think was a dud?
Yeah. Oh, we should do stud and dud.
Oh, I've got studs and duds written down. Did you have goods and duds?
I've got goods and duds. Studs and duds is better. Studs and duds is better, actually. Yeah. We'll change that for next week because I introed it as goods and duds.
I know you did.
Studs and duds is really good. Yeah, rate that.
Coming up with all the ideas, me.
Yeah, man. Yeah. If you got to this point as well, subscribe, like, as we just said, comment who you would have had as studs and goods.
Yeah.
Go over to Spotify. We are now on Instagram and TikTok as well. At Nerdy FL Pod. Find us over there. We're kind of bringing stuff out as and when. But yeah, should we get into some week 2 predictions, B-Dog?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, because look forward rather than look back.
Yeah, of course you always have to,
Yeah,
especially in this sport.
Yeah, let's go, man. Right, kicking off at 1 o'clock in the morning for us, B-Dog. Well, 1:15.
No, if you want to be precise.
My division.
Yep.
The Buffalo Bills going to the Miami Dolphins. Where you got this one?
I've got this one going to the Dolphins.
Yeah, me too.
Again, I think, although we said this, didn't they? Joe Allen is going to have to be the Bills, and he was 2 rushing touchdowns. There was a few good catches from some good people like Keon Coleman and Shakir, but you know what I mean. Without Josh Allen doing what Josh Allen does, they don't win that game. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. The Bills last week, Cards, wasn't it? Didn't look particularly the better team, and it's no secret we've had this for weeks. I think the Cards are ass. You kind of think more of them than me, fair enough. I mean, it showed it because, like you said, if Josh Allen hadn't done what Josh Allen does,
I just think the Cards didn't look too much either.
No, Murray looked a bit, like I wouldn't say frenzied, but I think he looked a bit unsettled in that pocket still a little bit. Still getting used to it, he's not having that connection with Marvin Harrison. That still needs to come. There's a few drops.
Marvin Harrison's tape was yikes.
Yeah, it was pretty bad for that game.
Marvin Harrison's tape was yikes. For the biggest prospect to come out of college at that position, crazy. But yeah, for me, like you just said, Allen put the team on his back and carried them over the line, basically.
Literally.
He's going to end up getting hurt or just not being able to do it.
Yeah.
And I think the Dolphins have got too much.
Yeah, I think, obviously most of it's out at the moment, and A-Chain at the moment is a game day decision. So, but Jalen Wright, again, he looked class in preseason. Like we've said, it's like having 3 copies of the same player in the backfield anyway, so I don't see it changing much there. But Tua looked comfy, Tyreek, after getting arrested, had a decent game.
Did you see Selly? The Selly was class at that.
That man just loves to be fined in this league, doesn't he?
Love it, man.
He just loves to be fined.
Hey, I don't mind it, mate.
No, neither do I.
I absolutely do not mind it. I love that. But yeah, we've said it a million times. Allen's better than Tua. There's no doubt about it. But Tua's got more. He just has to throw that up
Oh,
there.
of course he does, yeah.
You know.
Waddle, Hill,
Yeah,
you know what I
man.
mean? That's two of the fastest in the league, arguably.
Yeah, I just think Miami have got too much.
Yeah, they do.
They've
And
got
the
too
defense
much.
played pretty well as well.
Yeah, the defense is kind of slept on a little bit, to be honest. I know they lost Christian Wilkins, but I think the defense is kind of slept on a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you still got Javon Holland, you got Jalen Ramsey
Mm.
in your secondary. You know, they're not people to be look sideways at.
No, I completely agree with you, man. The Vegas Raiders and the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I think that's the Ravens. I think when you looked at the Raiders game against the Chargers, Baltimore, you know,
Yeah,
maybe it's Baltimore's turn to put 63 points down on the Raiders.
maybe. I mean, we spoke about. Well, I spoke about before. We thinking the Chargers are going to run the ball.
Yeah,
They play the Ravens. They don't. Baltimore again. You would kind of associate with running the ball. Is this because the Raiders' the defense against the rush, against the run, is kind of better than the defense against the pass, or
I mean, yeah, I
do
mean,
you think
obviously,
Lamar's and Derrick Henry's are just going to have
like
fun
we said,
anyways?
Christian Wilkins has gone from the Dolphins to the Raiders.
Yeah.
And having that with Max Crosby on the edges, you know, that's something you don't want to run against realistically, is
No.
it? They've got like Jack Jones, and they've got some Diablo at linebacker who I think is pretty decent. I think it's going to be a tough one in that run defense against the run game, but I think passing wise, Baltimore will beat the Raiders, and
Yeah.
I still think, like I said, the hot take, I don't think Henry will ever over 1,000 yards rushing.
I hope not. I mean, we said this before any games last week. Obviously, Ravens, Chiefs was the first game. I think you were in bed at the time. I was sat up messaging
Yeah.
because I was watching it because I had Derrick Henry and Isaiah Worthy.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh, touchdown for Henry. Oh, touchdown for Worthy. And then it all went quiet. But yeah, Henry seemed to get first down and sometimes second down. And then that was it.
Yeah, third down, he was never in. You know, they didn't throw to him a lot. And again, he only had, I think it was 10 or 11 rushes.
Yeah, I think potentially. I mean, I hope you're wrong for fantasy.
Yeah, for your sake.
But yeah, I agree. I've got them here on our sleeper pick'em league. I've got them with the minus 9.5. What do you have? Just out of interest. I'm not going to ask you for all of them because obviously I don't want your
I
predictions.
couldn't even tell you. Like, I haven't got any score points or anything like that at all. I'm just picking them to win.
You're in this league, mate. You need to. Have you picked the Ravens?
Yes.
Do you look at these minus?
God no.
Oh well, you need to.
Okay.
Right. So yeah. So regardless, minus 9.5. Do you think the Ravens beat the Raiders?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree.
Whatever 9.5 means. I'm not much of a gambler.
Points.
Oh.
Minus 9.5 points.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. I feel like the Baltimore are gonna double.
Beat them by 10. Yeah. So basically, it's beat them by 10. Right.
I'm not much of a gambler, I'll be honest with you.
Jesus Christ. See, this is why the theme song has you been like an old school, old man type.
I'll go to, you know what I mean. I have a bookie.
Yeah.
I pick my scores out of the newspaper. You know, I've got a stamp card.
Fuck's sake, man. Right, next game. Other than the Miami Buffalo game, these are all Sunday games. Obviously, other than the Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, the Falcons game.
Chargers, Carolina.
The Chargers.
Yeah.
I think again.
Open and shut.
Yeah, again, I think we talked about the Chargers. Are they going to run the ball a lot? And you know, they let Herbert throw a lot, but they also ran a lot. Gus Edwards, I think he had 11 carries for 41 yards, whereas J.K. Dobbins had 10 carries for 135.
Stats. He's got stats on. He's brought stats.
And a touchdown. He had 2 big 60-yard plus runs,
Yeah,
which helps massively. But you know, I mean, coming off that injury, he looked fresh. He found those holes. He waited. He was patient, and then burst through some gaps.
They just look like a well-coached team now.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm not just obviously jumping on my take from Jim Harbaugh earlier. They just look like a more professionally run football team this year from what we've seen. And Carolina, like you went into before, it's hard to see where they're going to really find success.
Yes, even Derek Brown as well for the Panthers. He's out now for the season.
Oh, yes, season ender.
So that's their main defensive threat.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, like Joe Alt was a big thing for the Chargers last week. He held Mason Crosby to no sacks.
He was always going to be a stud, though, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was always going to be
we
a
always said that
stud.
thing, when someone shows up for the draft in a quarter zip, jeans, boots, doesn't have any.
9'7", 560 pounds.
You're just like it's like looking at Joe Thomas in it. He's like, this guy doesn't dress well, so he's a baller on the field.
Doesn't care about like drip.
Yeah.
Just wants to hurt people.
Yeah, he's just going to go out on that field, do his job, and he's going to do it 100% perfect.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This is it, man. And they knew what they were doing by drafting him. They had to get some of that kind of steady offensive line, especially like you said, to run the ball and kind of protect Herbert without his weapons.
Yeah.
And kind of that's exactly what he's doing. And I've got the Chargers as well. They're -6.5 on Sleeper, and I've still took them because they'll beat them by 7. They'll probably beat them by 14, 21 maybe. I honestly do think they'll slap them.
Right.
Your game, B-Dog.
Yeah, I think
Them boys.
I think although even though the Saints had the stellar defense last week, I still think we win.
I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you.
You can tell a little bit that CD Dak connection's a little bit lackluster from him holding out a little bit for some money.
Yeah.
But I think after week 1, he's got a full week now to train again, get back into there. I mean, they still got Marshawn Lattimore and Paulo Debo, Tyrann Mathieu in that secondary. It's a good secondary.
Yeah.
But I think, obviously having Rico Dowell and Zeke Elliott brings that threat where maybe they're not expecting the pass every play.
Brandon Cooks.
I
picked the guy up in
you did,
free agency on the fantasy, man. I think
he has got under 1,000 yard receiving. What is it? 1,000 yards receiving in every year for the last 9 years.
Is it?
Yeah, for Brandon Cooks.
I just think he's pure slept on it. Like you guys will throw the ball, and you can't throw it to CD every time.
No, not at all.
And I liked him in New England. Obviously, earlier on, I kind of liked him then, anyways.
Yeah.
But obviously, last week played really well. I think what you really need to think about with the Saints is who they played in week 1.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the big kicker, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
the confidence though, but hey, confidence carries over in games.
I mean, yeah, it does. But it's at AT&T. Yeah. It's in Dallas. Not an easy place to go and win a football game.
Unless you're the Packers.
Unless it's a playoff game.
Yeah. Hey, this year's our year. How about them Cowboys?
Oh God Almighty! I'm snipping that. I'm gonna make like something for socials. I'm telling
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, there we go.
But no, yeah, it was. I do think we're gonna easily. Like you say, it was -6.5. Yeah, I think we'll be over a touchdown on them easy.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Brandon Aubrey, 68-yard field goal, new record.
The Bucks, our guy.
Yep.
Baker's gone bake against the Detroit Lions.
Sorry.
Yep.
Always gone for the Bucks.
So
I agree with you.
I've gone for the Bucks with a 7.5 swing.
Yeah.
So just for
those that don't gamble.
Just for those of you that are watching, we're on a sleeper league where it gives you some points swing either way. The Bucks with 7.5, I think it'll be really close.
Yeah.
I think there'll be like a field goal or a touchdown in it, where I think the Bucks take that. I don't fancy the Detroit Lions to win by 10.
No, they looked a little bit. I don't know. They looked a little bit. They weren't as aggressive as they were last year, I think.
What I worry about the Detroit Lions is, and we said this with Nick Weston week 1 or week 2.
It was week 3.
Episode week 1 or 2 or 3. The episode with Nick Weston, go and watch it, it's really good. But we spoke about the Detroit Lions being so successful because of how ballsy they are with the ball and how aggressive they are downfield.
Yeah.
And my worry was that they feel like they lost in the playoffs last year. I mean, yes, they did. They lost in the playoffs because they were too aggressive. But that's why you got there.
Oh, yeah.
Don't change that.
No,
it's a flip of the coin. If you're going to be aggressive, be aggressive. It's great. It's good to watch. And I reckon in the league, at least half of the teams wish they were more aggressive with the ball.
Oh yeah.
If it gets you success, keep doing it. You're gonna lose some.
Yeah.
You might lose anyways. And like what you just said there, B-Dog, I think taking that aggressiveness out of them takes away kind of their superpower.
Yeah.
and I think that's what we saw. Yes, they got the win in overtime over the Rams, but I think we take that superpower away from them, and they're just another team that have players that are good enough to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that's where I'm at with it. I think Detroit maybe sneak the win. I think the win by 3 or 7, but with the swing, I take Tampa. But out and out, probably Detroit. But with the swing,
Yeah, I just think. I think the way Baker performed last week, I don't think he'll do that every week.
Yeah.
But I still think he's easily gonna throw for a handful of tutties.
you're not just chuffed for him.
I am, and I just like we said, I just love the guy, I love his attitude.
He's what you would be if you played in the NFL, wouldn't it? Just buzzing to be there and just like hyped and like.
Yeah, I thought you meant me personally, and I was like, I wish, but I'm not fucking built like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen you on a football field.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, he's got that vibe of what anyone would be if they were in that situation,
Yeah,
and he just loves it, man.
He's the kid in a toy shop.
And do you know what? Right, he was always a good quarterback.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's not your fault you go to the Browns when they were horrendous. You go to the Panthers when they were horrendous. Go to the LA Rams, like you said before. First game has to come fourth quarter comeback field goal to leave the game with a win.
Yeah.
He's always been a good quarterback, or potentially a good quarterback, and I think now we're seeing that the Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans thing.
Yeah,
the connection's crazy.
If you watch the first touchdown to Mike Evans, it is a spitting image of his pass to Van Jefferson when he played for the Rams for the score.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what he said in the post-game press conference? So what he said was, and I feel like Todd Bowles is going nuts, right? Because he came out and he was like, well, if they're only going to put one guy on Mike, I'm just going to throw it to him.
Yeah.
It's a cheat code.
Yeah.
So Todd Bowles is going, well, shit, now they're just going to double him.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
Even if you think it, Baker, don't say it, man.
No, I know, but it's just excited, isn't it? He was just buzzing.
He's got that receiver that he's always wanted.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I'm chuffed for him, and I'm trying my hardest to get him off you in fantasy.
Yeah,
I'm gagging, but
hey, I traded you Mike Evans.
well, you did, but I want them two of them. I want them to when they score points. I get it twice. That's the point. But yeah, that's the way it is. The Indianapolis Colts versus the Green Bay Packers. Now, last week's games have massive consequences in this prediction, don't they?
Oh yeah. Like Richardson and everyone has buzzed about him. Obviously scoring on the ground and throwing some unbelievable passes through the air. But he only went 9 for 19.
Cook, hey, you cook, man, you
9
cook.
for 19, but people are only going to remember that slip and 61-yard pass to Alec Pierce and running him for the touchdown from 20-odd yards away. That's what people are mostly going to focus on that game and be like, oh yeah, the Colts are back. But 9 for 19 in this league is...
That being said, though, B-Dog, and we spoke about it last week with Dill, Anthony Richardson, we've not seen a lot about him.
No.
But what we have seen is he's got a decent arm and can run with the ball.
Yeah.
We basically seen that, didn't we?
Yeah.
That's exactly what we've seen.
Much, yeah. We've seen him launch the ball downfield and we've seen his ability on the ground.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, that short to mid-game does need a bit of work, but I think we're both going to agree that the Colts are going to take this one.
Yeah.
Because of the unfortunate Love injury.
Yeah.
Unless Malik Willis comes out and just plays a stellar game.
No, you hit the nail on the head. I've picked the Colts purely because Green Bay, in my opinion, don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like you said before, don't particularly have unbelievably skilled receivers. That's maybe harsh. Decent receivers.
There's no number one guy.
Their offensive unit is good because their offensive unit has grew up together.
Yeah.
You chuck an outsider in there, I don't particularly think it's as good.
No.
But yeah, that's kind of where I've gone with it. One thing I want to say about Anthony Richardson as well is I think the way people look at him is maybe harsh because he's basically a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, this year he is.
He's basically a rookie quarterback still. Yes, he's had four games and like the off season,
and he had a concussion and a shoulder injury in those 4 games.
I think the guy's basically a rookie receiver and
a rookie QB.
I nearly said that before, man.
Hey, stick him at tight end.
Not sponsored by Brewdog. But yeah, no, yeah, I think we look at him too harshly, and I genuinely think he'll come good and one day be a really good
Yeah,
quarterback. Right.
pointed at the camera.
Sorry, the swing for that one was the Colts -3.5. If that changes you,
No.
same. Yeah, same. The Cleveland Browns and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I think the Jaguars take it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
I think, like we said, we love ETN, we love Trevor Lawrence.
The Browns stink.
Yeah, I mean, Denzel Ward, Martin Emerson, they're all good secondary unit.
On paper, they look class.
And I'd say they've got a top 3 edge rusher in that team as well with Myles Garrett,
Oh,
the face of the Browns,
easily,
arguably.
yeah, easily.
So it's like, Nick Chubb as well, him being out doesn't help them a lot. But I think they're saying he's going to miss most of the season.
Yeah, man.
So it's just
Jacksonville just looked really good against Miami.
yeah. It's just the Browns, innit? When you think of the Browns, you don't think of success.
No, you don't. They stink. But Jacksonville looked really. I arguably should have won against the Dolphins in week 1.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence carries on that projection that's
Steadily,
yeah. He's not shot to the top, but looks like he's continuing to get better every year, which he has done.
Brian Thomas, he looks exceptional.
Yeah, that toe tap in the end zone. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was kind of not a sleeper because people knew about him, but he wasn't really spoke about the same way as like the other receivers were. And
you find really weird considering the fact he led the FBS in touchdowns.
Yeah, man.
But everyone was also too bothered about
great toe tap swag.
Malik Neighbours.
ETN after us rimming him the other week when we were talking about running backs.
Fumbles the ball.
Yeah. I think the Jags are really unlucky, and I think they'll be fine this year. I think they'll be absolutely fine in their division. I think they've got every chance to maybe push a little bit for that playoff.
Yeah.
That playoff spot. I think the Bucks take it. Seeded, but wild card. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
100%.
Here we go. Right. San Francisco 49ers against the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I think the 49ers, like we've said multiple times, they're just always that 1 inch away from winning a Super Bowl, and I don't see much change in this year bringing back all the same people.
I think they do it this year.
Yeah, I think they've got the best shot they have had to do it this year.
I honestly think they do it this year. They're just the most, once they get the Trent Williamses and the Brandon Ayuk's that haven't practiced all summer, and once they get all that in and they start rolling, I think once they get to week 4, 5, 6, they're just going to start slapping teams.
Yeah, like
they really are. I I think they do it this year. That's my early Super Bowl prediction.
Ooh.
I think the 49ers do it.
Do you think meets them in the final? You think it's another Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl for the 49ers to win the first out of 3?
It's hard to really look past the Chiefs, though, isn't it?
No, I know. Every year.
I think if anyone's going to get there, it's the Ravens.
Ooh.
But
Ravens 49ers would be a hell of a Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it's hard to really look past the Chiefs right now. But yeah, I think that regardless, the Niners do it. In this game, the Niners and the Vikings kind of what we expected.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Darnold did look good. I can't argue with that.
Yeah,
but again, he's a piece right now, is what he is. He's a piece in the puzzle. He's doing what he needs to do, but there's nothing beyond that piece in the puzzle that he needs to do.
I completely agree with you.
And the defense, obviously losing Daniel Hunter, it's big pieces like that are missing now that they're trying to fill in a little bit.
Completely agree with you, man. Could not agree more.
Oh.
Anyone interested? The swing was -5.5 San Francisco, and I took that because I think they'll beat them well.
Yeah.
The Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. Now you're going to look at my selection, and I've took the Pats, but that's with the swing. I think it'll be really close.
Yeah, I think it'll be a close game. I think Gino played really well in that first week. I mean, he had that big long run to show that he's still got wheels at his age.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
Oh, yeah. Longest run of his career.
yep, and for a tutty as well.
Aye.
There was a few with most. I think with most teams there was a few baby errors that need to be ironed out a little bit
Yeah.
with between QBs and receivers. I can't tell if it's an issue, if it's like sort of like growing pains. Well, I wouldn't even say growing pains necessarily. It's just like I can't, that connection's not there between receiver
Week
and QB.
week one is
Week one,
really,
sort of that,
yeah.
or if all of a sudden we've gone from defense wins championships to defense is the main side of the football now.
Yeah. It's kind of because it's swung away from that for a long, long time,
Yeah.
didn't it? It was all about offense and
Yep.
defense didn't really count.
No.
But now it's getting to the and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
My thing with this New England Seattle game is if we play like we did against the Bengals, simplistically, if we win the turnover battle, yes, fine, great. If we play like we did realistically against the Bengals and say to Seattle, well, we're going to cover you, you run the ball, which is what we did against the Bengals. We're going to cover all your guys, we're going to rush you, and you can just run it. All right?
Yeah.
Yes, great against the Bengals. If we do that against the Seahawks, Kenneth Walker will rip us a new one.
Yeah. 100% he will.
And that is the difference.
Yeah.
If we played the exact same game against the Seahawks, they will just run us off the field. We'll not have the ball because they'll take forever to get down the field because they'll just run it. I don't think we will do that, by the way. But I think that's where the difference is. If we allow the Seahawks to effectively run the ball, we won't win.
Yeah.
If we don't do that, I think we win. I think it's genuinely as simple as that.
Go and get Mayo on the phone.
I mean, that's just where I see it.
Yeah.
I think that's where the game's won and lost
Yeah.
is in their ability to run the ball. Because I think in coverage, yes, your DKs, your Tyler Lockett's that you run about, Jackson Smith and Jigbers, got it in the right order, Dill. Yes, they've got them guys, but we can scheme a decent coverage defense,
Yeah.
and I think if we allow them to run it, we'll struggle. If we don't, I think we'll be okay. I think the total points on this game's like 32 or something. I think it's another fairly low scoring game.
Yeah.
33. Whatever makes the whatever the maths is right around that point.
Okay. That's what both teams added together for those people who were in
Oh,
there
yeah,
thinking 33 each isn't a very
33 nothing to us. No, I think that's where it'll be won or lost, to be honest. The New York Jets and the Tennessee Titans.
Here we go again. Kev's sexualizing something.
At least he's not a guy this time. I bit me
That's
tongue
true.
for kind of before.
That's true. You just there like
Oh, God.
starting off strong there.
I'd say
Right.
cut this, but I won't.
No, you won't. Too lazy. Can't be bothered. Keep it in.
Oh, it's not that, it's just funny.
It's for the views.
Yeah, it's just funny, isn't it? Right. Jets, Titans.
Yeah, I think the Jets have a bounce back.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the Titans, they look good. Tony Pollard looked good there. I'm not saying that's just the Cowboys fan. Nobody outdid Todd
Yeah,
for carries
yeah, man. Yeah.
and passing downs. But obviously, Will Levis looked a little bit uneasy again, trying to get that ball to his receivers. Again, quite a few drops, some week one-isms, as we're going to copyright it as.
Week one isms, yeah, like that. I mean, did I say that before?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, shut the fuck up then. Not sponsored by Brewdog.
What's this?
Well, I can't say sponsored by Brewdog because
No,
we're
I
not.
know. We just keep pulling it into camera.
That's my excuse for being stupid. Yeah,
I
Tony
think-
Pollard was good, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I do think though the Jets come back. Brees Hall obviously not looking like Brees Hall with that fumble. I think he comes back again as a stellar game like he did last year for them all the time with the
Yeah.
Jets. Braylon Allen, I think he gets a bigger part now because he is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think I really would have liked him at Dallas. There's a nice little move the chains 3-4 yards to carry back, which would be perfect. But again, I think the Titans defense just looked a little bit off, and the Jets defense, with Sauce Gardner in there, they were going to be making some plays.
I mean, we've said it a million times over the last few weeks. The Jets kind of offense and defense, a perfect marriage and potentially great.
Oh yeah.
I said earlier, obviously, about the Jets being kind of sucky in week 1. I think Rodgers is a kind of guy that he'll be able to address that.
Oh yeah.
If he goes, I'm not going to be able to scramble in the pocket, or my guys aren't getting up, and he's going to work that out.
Oh yeah.
I think week 2 will be completely fine, unless obviously he's just washed, which potentially. But I think he's smart enough to be able to beat a Tennessee Titans team with the weapons he's got there. Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, Lazard.
His favourite target in the game as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Did he have Randall Cobb at some point as well? I think they did last.
That was moons ago. That though, I think.
Yeah, it was like last year or 2 years ago or something.
I think
They were just like picking Rodgers' guys up, weren't they?
Yeah, like you said, was it you that said that maybe Adams comes knocking at the door, maybe?
Yeah. I think there's every single chance, and we seen the start of it potentially last week. But yeah, Jets for this one. For those interested, the swing was minus 4.5. Still took the Jets. I think they'll beat the Titans well. The all NFC East matchup: Giants against the Washington Commanders.
You were about to say the wanky Commanders then?
I don't know what I was going to say.
I was going to say that's. Yeah, I think we. It's not Rocket. I think we.
What the fuck, man? Don't out me, man. I went off camera. What the fuck? Jesus Christ.
Sorry, it sounded like a shotgun.
Big schnapper.
I think you've gone for the Commanders there, and I think I agree with you. I think with the way Jaden Daniels performed last week compared to your favourite guy, Daniel Jones.
Don't you?
That man, I do like that man. I just
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I do like him. I just think he's like, you know what I mean. You don't see many people like him, to be fair.
In the NFL, yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, I think Giants week. I mean, they're everything we thought they were.
He
aren't
just
they?
needs to throw the ball.
They stink, man.
He's panicking a little bit. He's like getting the snap, and he's like, oh.
There's no excuse for that screen.
No, not at all.
That screen pick 6. Jesus Christ, Daniel, come on, man. Like, jeez, like, yeah. Sorry, I can't really say much else. Like, it's not even about the Commanders as much.
No,
that the Giants
shoot themselves in the foot.
Stink. Like, they stink. I'm sorry, Giants. But
I mean, yeah, they lost their offensive explosive weapon in Saquon.
They had a running back, and that was all they had, and now they don't have that. I mean, sorry, they've got the young boy out wide, Malik
Neighbors. He's getting the ball.
Yeah, man. Oh, he looked a stunning preseason as well.
I know.
But
oh well. Right then, we'll move on to the Rams against the Cards.
Yeah.
Who have you gone for?
I've got the LA Rams.
I think I'm going to stick with the Cards again. You
know?
know?
I mean, this is going to be a season-long thing, isn't it?
It is. You know what I mean? You got to root for. I mean, I really do like the Cardinals. They've got, like you said, like me and Dylan said, they got all the right pieces last week. The Rams again. Stafford. He looked a little. He made the throws, but I don't know. He just didn't look like Stafford of old a little bit. I don't
see. I agree with you, to be honest. Like, I thought, oh, Stafford, what's going on here?
Yeah.
He had one of the most throwing yards in the league last week, but
it didn't
kind of
like
sneakily.
It. Yeah, it didn't look like it.
Yeah, I think I can see it with Puka going out and kind of those things, but Cooper Kupp's just came back and just been Cooper Kupp. It's as simple as the fact that I think the Rams are better than the Cardinals, and it's because I don't think the Cardinals are that good. And, we're probably going to have this till the end of the season now about the Cards, but I just do not fancy them at all.
No, I know you don't.
I mean, I'm happy to be wrong. I've said it before. Cards are one of the teams that I've kind of got a little bit of a soft spot for, but
fantastic on fantasy rebuilds.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, just sack Kyler Murray off and get Bazooka Joe in. I need to play my game actually on Madden.
Yeah, that's alright.
I'm gonna go for a piss, and then we'll do Steelers.
Is your prostate okay?
Oh man, I'm just older. I'm just old. Next up, B-Dog. The Pittsburgh Feelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the
No. Go back to Pittsburgh Feelers.
the Pittsburgh Feelers and the Denver Broncos. Who you got, man?
It's one of those, isn't it? You look at it again, and I think this one might be. I think this one is going to be a worse game than the Commanders.
This
against
is
the
an
Giants.
interesting one because both the teams in week 1 didn't really show you much of what the team is.
No, not at all. I think this is going to be another. I think this, like I've said, I think this one is going to be the mud game of the
Yeah,
week
it
compared.
was.
Even the Giants
Dang.
Commanders, I think, are going to be a bit more exciting.
Well, yeah, because neither of them could defend.
That's true. But no, I think looking at it, when just looking at JJ Watt, bloody hell, keep doing that. TJ Watt, how he demolished the Falcons last week. I think he's going to do the exact same. With Bo Nix, he's going to end up on the ground more than he is in the air.
Yeah, I think you look at your guys like Fitzpatrick and JPJ and those guys in like the secondary, and
Patrick Queen.
kind of Patrick. Yeah, exactly, man. And
He forgot he was there at the Steelers then.
I did. He's one of my favourite linebackers as well. I really love him. Marry that with Bo Nix's struggles in week 1. I'm really rooting for Bo Nix to look after the ball.
Yeah, I know.
But I think this is a really tricky game for him.
It is.
This is a really tricky. There's not going to be any easy games, but I think this one, because Pittsburgh, I spoke about it last week as well. Their pass rush is crazy.
Yeah.
It comes from everywhere, and they don't tell you where it's coming from.
No.
They disguise the pass rush probably better than anyone else in the league, I think. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really tough game. I've went for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I agree with you in Pittsburgh there.
Yeah. Right. Big game, which could be a little bit of a tricky one because everyone's expecting a one-way result. The Cincinnati Bengals against the Kansas City Chiefs.
It's always a fun game, isn't it? It's always a fun game.
Always
to watch.
is.
But I think the way Burrow looked last week, and obviously T Higgins questionable, Jamar Chase not trained all off season. I think the Chiefs are going to win this one.
I agree with you. I think if it's week 4 or 5, it's a completely different game.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think it's a completely different game. Yeah, like you just said there, Jamar Chase didn't practice all off season.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of got held in check last week. Higgins, is he going to be back? I think it's kind of touch and go,
Yeah,
maybe.
at the moment, it is game day.
Yeah, so those guys kind of massive in how Cincinnati play. We've said this before. They're a shotgun, 3 wide receiver team. They want to throw the ball.
Yeah.
You know, when 2 of them guys are compromised a little bit, it makes it hard work. The Chiefs, I mean, they were playing the Ravens, but I don't think Mahomes kind of looked Mahomesy either.
No, I know. Again,
Week 1-isms.
Week 1-isms. You know, every QB looked a little off. You know,
Yeah.
apart from Baker. Baker's shone because he's an angel.
Baker's got Baker.
Yeah, you know, but yeah, I think that week 2, I think it's going to be a completely different ball game. I think everyone's going to have a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Yeah, I've been taking KC as well. I think it's going to be closer than what people think if they're looking at the week 1 games.
Yeah.
I think if people look at the week 1 games, they go, the Chiefs will spank them.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll be the case.
No.
Right. Monday. Well, Sunday, but it's Monday morning for us.
Yep.
1:20 a.m. The Chicago Bears against the Houston Texans.
I think the Texans are on a roll here.
Yeah, I agree with you,
You know,
man.
I mean, Caleb, everyone said he was going to be great, but did not show it in that.
We didn't. We said there's every chance he could bust.
94 passing yards, I think it was.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we've said this a million times. He's got all the weapons around him, but how much pressure does that put on you as the quarterback? You've got to succeed.
Yeah.
And he didn't particularly look good at what he did in college either. You know, that athleticism, getting out of the pocket and kind of making
yeah.
plays.
Defense really won that game for
Yeah,
the Bears.
carry them to the win, basically.
That and Levis, for some reason, passing the ball to Tyreek Stevenson.
That's like the biggest no, don't throw the ball I think I've ever seen.
I just watched it and I just thought, that's what's he doing?
Yeah.
I was like, is he trying to throw it out of bounds? Is he trying to hit his man?
Yeah.
A shovel pass.
Yeah,
for
just
30 yards.
Just chuck it at the ground past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
It's Easy done.
Maybe that's what he did, and maybe because his arms are so
Oh,
huge,
Jeez, yeah, I don't
he
know
just
what.
launched it. And
Do
then
you know what? Just take the sack.
I know. Do you know what it was? For me, the hand on the head when he threw it. And he was
She was
just
like mid-play. No.
just watching it go down the sideline. I was like, "Oh, Will,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, Will, what are you
Jesus
doing?"
Christ, son. Ah, Christ. Right, final game of week 2. Tuesday morning for us, Monday night over in the States. The Atlanta Falcons, the Philadelphia Eagles, the
Yeah.
Battle of the Birds.
I don't know what to call this one. I think the Eagles, like we said, Saquon looked like the Eagles in week 1, but the Falcons didn't look like a football team in
No.
week 1 either. So
No.
I think Philly take it again for another win.
Yeah, I agree
As
with you.
annoying as it is to say, I'd like for them to lose. But I think they take it in week 1 again. Based on the fact that it's a stacked team that has proven to work,
Well,
whereas the
yeah.
Falcons are a stacked team on paper, still waiting for the magic to hit.
Yeah, this is it. And do you know what? The Lincoln Financial, the Eagles Stadium, not an easy place to go.
No, not at all.
Not
Not
an-
with those fans.
No, those guys over there are crazy, and yeah, as much as we think on paper, like you said, the Falcons have got on offense, equally the Eagles have that and more.
Oh yeah.
We've said this before. The receiving core and the quarterback they had last year, they've added one of the
Goes on tight.
they've added one of the best running backs in the league, so that doesn't make you worse, does it?
No,
It
not
just
at
makes you
all.
better.
Of course
I
it
think
does.
they're gonna have too much, and I think they're too much for the Falcons. I think,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'll take the Eagles with the minus 6.5 swing. I think they'll beat them by over 7. Yeah, right. Because this is our league, and he's just not been looking at the swings. You need to look at the swings and pick based on the swings, man.
No, just pick the teams, mate.
Well, that's why you had six right and last week, and I had fucking 11 or something. I can't remember what it was.
I'm not a gambler. Like I said, I just give money to my bookie.
Jesus Christ. But
I walk in and I'm just like, "Hi there, how you doing? I'll have the tenfold spread, please."
fucking see on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's like, could you turn me around? I'm DVRing the game. I want to see it later.
Yeah. No, I'm just like Pimento, I just go in there and give some money to a kid and he's my bookie. Can you do this for me?
Class. If you were good.
Not sponsored by Brewdog.
Not sponsored by Brewdog.
Every time.
Is that us?
Not sponsored by Brewdog again. For those hearing that click open.
Right, again, not sponsored by Brewdog. Is that us, B-Dog?
That's us, I think. I think that's us done for this week,
Anything else to touch on?
This is our year. How about them Cowboys?
There we go. Thank you very much. If you got to this point in the podcast, thank you very much. Please give us a little like if you're on YouTube, comment if you're on YouTube, subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, give us a little like or rate or whatever it is over there. Catch us on both of them. Catch us on TikTok or Instagram at NerdyFLPod. And other than that, tell your friends, enjoy yourself,
Yeah, we're doing some TikTok dances soon.
live your best life,
Yeah.
and we'll see you for week 3.
See you next week, guys.
Peace.
Bye bye.